Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heart with Saima. This is a podcast show where we bring different people, and these are ordinary people doing extraordinary things, and they're doing amazing things all over the world. So, without waiting anymore, let me bring on our guest for today. So, right here, we have Shama. And in just a moment, I'm going to let Shama do her own introduction. But as Shama has been doing many extraordinary things throughout her life, but currently for the past year, she has been running this organization which is called CCW. And CCW right here, it stands for, it's celebrating its first year. And I'm going to actually let Shama give an introduction for this organization, which stands for Courageous Cosmic Women. It is a registered nonprofit organization, 501 C3. And Shama, good evening. How are you doing?
Hi, Saima. I'm Shama. Thank you for having us. Yes, we are very excited to celebrate our 1 year anniversary of BBW Foundation. Yes, we are non-profit organization registered in United States. We are only 1 year old, and we go by CCW. And I'm very proud to explain to you today why I named CCW. Courageous Cosmic Women, because we all are courageous. We all women are courageous, and we inspire others. That's where I selected logo CCW. And we have many projects around the world, and we help unfortunates and many other women. We empower, inspire them. And I can explain to you how everyone can do it. Me, I don't have a big degree, but anyone can do it, what I am doing. And thank you for your sweet words, Saima. I can explain today the meaning of courageous women. When we all courageous women, we inspire everyone, sometimes knowingly, sometimes unknowingly. Now, to me, inspirational is when we inspire, I believe that the life of full of enthusiasm, courage, honesty, and humility. That is inspirational. And we all are courageous to inspire everyone.
So, Shama, you have been doing a lot of amazing things. I know that actually, before we even continue this conversation, I would like to bring on Yasmin Karim, and let me bring her on. And good evening, Yasmin. Yasmin is connecting with us from Vancouver, Canada. Yasmin, it's an honor and a privilege to have you here on Heart to Heart. An amazing group of people doing some fabulous work. You guys are from the Ismaili community, and my best friend is an Ismaili, and I always, for 30 years, and I've always seen the amazing volunteer work and how volunteerism is ingrained in kind of like your system, your blood. And it is just fabulous to see how much you guys serve and how much you give back. So welcome to Heart to Heart. I'm going to, before I hand over and let you do your introduction, you are involved in many activities, international projects, and Shama specifically told us that you are called Yashoo. So we will address you as Yashoo as well. So please tell us about you and tell us about yourself.
So thank you so much, Saima. It really is an honor and a privilege for me to be with you and all of you. It's really lovely. Thank you. So talking about me, I guess I'm creative in nature. I'm a communication artist. Uh, ar- I also do a lot of design work, and I also do outreach work. So I work with seniors. I work with a little bit with the Afghan community, and I do a lot of creativity. I think, having said that, the biggest joy in my life right now, especially in the context of we women are courageous, is to uphold the legacy of my parents and grandparents and forefathers, and it continues on, right?
Yes,
Eternal.
absolutely.
Um, and it's really a joy to uphold the legacy of our parents, because I remember my mom saying, "Are you acting yourself before you share something with others?" So
Yeah,
when we talk about being courageous woman, what did courageous woman look like in the past? What about the 21st century today? How do we define courageous woman? What
yeah,
about the 28th century? What will a courageous woman look like then, right?
yeah.
So for me, I think the values will never change. The value of a courageous woman will forever be, in my opinion, love and nurturing. So even though we have single fathers, for example, doing the nurturing of their children, yet it's accurate to say that women are naturally caring and loving. They are affectionate, and in their affectionate, there is an unconditional love. And what does unconditional love look like, right? It's never about the self, it's always about beyond the self, right? So courageous, like if we look at the lexical meaning of what is courageous, then we see that it is an action um, which surpasses fear and stress and all those things. It's an action that combats all the hardships. So then, what is courage? Courage then is a balance between stress, fear, rigidity, and we go through any and all rigidity. And that takes shape in the form of Shama, for example, in what she is doing, in the form of what you are doing, and so many other different forms. It's always about serving humanity, but it's never also within a small given time frame. It's always looking beyond and beyond, right?
Absolutely. And, you know, um, uh, we are in this universe. We have to, there's a purpose for our existence in this world. Mm,
Yes,
I am a firm believer of the fact that everything that we do in this universe, everything, it begins with us. So
yes,
that's the starting point. It begins with us because when we serve from the overflow, because when we serve from the overflow, then we nurture everything around us. But when we are deplete ourselves and we are serving, then we are in overdrive mode. you
yes,
know we are pulling out the overdrive gas, and there's going to be a point when there'll be no energy left. But when you take care of you first, which
yes,
I feel is something that is not taught to people in our community, to take care of you. When you take care of you and you fill yourself up with gas, right?
yes, yes,
You're able to function, you have your seats, you're able to bring passengers in, you're able to fill in your car, you're able to nurture and provide from a place of fulfillment instead
yes,
of from a place of need. So, Shama,
yes,
you have been involved in many things. You are an author yourself. You have written a book which is about, it has to do with your journey and the hardship that you faced when you were actually you were kicked out of your home by your ex-husband. You were in Nairobi, and you were left literally destitute, where you had no means. You had three sons. You left everything behind, and you were on the streets. You had to learn survival, and you had to learn survival, and yet bring yourself to a point of forgiveness of leaving everything behind, of taking care of you, and you're giving so much back to the community. If
Yes.
would you like to share something about your hardship
Yes.
and the experience that you went
Yes. Yes, definitely. I joined school first to learn how to write, though I don't have master's degree. And I had a bachelor's degree from Karachi, Pakistan. So I got second dual bachelor's degree from United States. And I joined school how to learn writing book. And first, without any experience, when I wrote it, I named Helpless Mother of Three. But then school taught me. School taught me, and it says, like, if I really want, because why I'm strong today. So I always give credit to that situation. Whatever came in my life, I was on street, no money, no house, and crying for kids all the time. So if you see the book, I should have actually bring my book here. Actually, yeah, you have seen that book, Saima. That I changed the name thanks to my ex-husband. That because of those all this struggle and hardship, uh, thanks to my ex-husband who made me a strong woman. So it's all again like positive. And if you take positive and you accept the situation, whatever comes in your life, and you really become very, very strong, and then God is there to take care of you.
So, when you were at your lowest moment, when you coming from an affluent family, coming from a background where you were used to having everything on in your life, and then being on the streets, um, what gave you courage when you hit your weakest moment?
The loneliness was killing me, and I involved myself in meditation. Only two things, the two hobbies I had: meditate and walking. And Urdu, you will love that. Uh, they said, why you are strong, and why you maintain so your weight and everything, how you do that. And I always sing in the way of poetry. I tell them, "Kam khate hain, kam sote hain, सबसे ज्यादा हम रोते हैं." That says I've been waiting कि एक दिन ऐसा आएगा कि वाकई लोग मतलब समझौता करेंगे, और लोग ये सोचेंगे कि वाकई इन्होंने अपने आप को बन के दिखाया. I didn't cry. I did cry actually, but today I'm here to talk about what I changed in myself, and that's my message to whole world. Today, many women, they are suffering in Afghanistan, in Pakistan. They had been crying. They approached me. They're still approaching me, and I'm still changing their life. I'm saying that you are not alone. We all are in the same boat. And when they listen to my story, they get, oh, we are really good. So that is again, I would say, like courageous women. I empower women and inspire them to live the life and make most of it. That's it. So today I can share with you, I get happy, how I get happiness. Uh,
How do you get happiness?
Again, meditation, yoga, walking, my hobbies. But besides that, uh, when I go and look around in the world, that women who are still crying, they're really helpless. They are really helpless. They don't have anything. Then I always am thankful to universe and to God. I always say, oh, how lucky I was. I had support from my parents. I had support from my siblings. I had support from my community. I had support from social work. Everything I had. I got education. I got everything. And these ladies, they are so unfortunate. They don't have anything, even not food. They're crying for shelter. They're crying for food. And if you just give them few sweet words with one naan, one chapati, they are so thankful. They are so thankful. Just look at them in flood. They're suffering. They live as a refugee. Whatever you do, they appreciate so much. And that's my message to the whole world. For those women who are suffering, we are with you. We are not alone. We all have gone through, and but we didn't give up. We didn't give up. And today I'm like a queen. I have everything. I have everything today.
So, Shama, what was the turning point in your life?
My turning point, I will give you a real example. I was a stupid housewife. I call it stupid because whatever your husband say you're doing, three times I had a bachelor's degree, and I was actually in hairdressing profession in Karachi, Pakistan, and teaching hairdressing. I have a student in Houston, and I was teaching, but where change came in my life to adopt my nephew and take care of the in-laws, and three times I was making hard chapatis. When I was making hard chapatis, and I was very contented in that life. But when I was divorced, when I was single, then I learned about this. वो हम उर्दू में नहीं कहते हैं साइमा, कि जब तक फ्रॉग, वो फ्रॉग को उर्दू में क्या कहते हैं?
Mendak.
मेंढक, मेंढक जब कुएं का मेंढक रहता है, उसे पता ही नहीं है कि दुनिया की वो जो जो दरिया की मौज क्या है. तो वो 7 साल में जो मैंने सीखा, दैट ब्रॉट change in my life, joining school, start meditation, and instead of staying at home, then I was like, every day I was learning something. I saw Dilshad is online now.
So, Shama, while we wait on Dilshad to come back, what prompted you to start a CCW?
Okay, that again, very important person came in my life when I was working in Fort Worth for a non-profit organization called MCHS. It is a Muslim Community Center for Human Services. I was working as a caseworker and taking care of one schizophrenic son of Bibi, and Bibi was my client, and that person changed my life because I saw her all the time. She had been crying for refugees, crying for the people, digging water well. And she said, why don't you support me, Shamim? And we open a non-profit and help these women. So she played a very important role in my life. She changed my life to open this company.
So, Bibi came into your life. You were the caseworker for whatever they were going through. And what was it about their journey that touched your heart and changed your life?
About that journey, I can see that she is a single mom, how she has struggled. She came as a refugee. I hope Bibi can listen. She can tell herself she's there. She's telling me she's there. She can tell herself, as she has explained very well, that she came as a refugee and how she struggled to take care of her 7 children. Bibi, are you listening?
Actually, so I'm going to let you go on mute and help Bibi because
Okay,
she needs to enter the studio.
okay,
And
okay,
meantime, we are waiting on Dilshad. So let me switch
okay.
back to Yasmin. So
Got it.
Yasmin, you're based in Vancouver. You're basically in marketing. Um, what is it about this world of volunteerism? What is it that gives you that high, and what is it that makes you feel that it's life changing for you?
The greatest blessing is it helps us know, or it helps me know myself. And, it's a greatest joy. Like when I work with seniors, for example, I'm always mindful of how their dignity of life should be upheld. It's so easy otherwise to remiss, I mean, and some seniors, I mean, depending on individual situation, their health, and so many other issues. But by and large, I think seniors have a lot of wisdom, and whether they are verbal or not, there is always a learning back and forth, you know. So I think for me, the high is the opportunity I get when I interact with them of knowing who I am. I
So,
mean,
what when you see the sufferings of senior citizens, um, there you probably see a lot of hardship as well. People's um, who have you know no family who reaches out to them. People you know who are basically you know some of them just on the street as well, and you're trying to place these people. How do we change this story where as part of the culture, it's a system where parents, they never live for themselves, they only live for the children. How does that change? Because you know it's the culture, right, where
yes,
parents are like
absolutely.
that, they're thinking that okay, we're going to raise our kids and our kids are going to take care of us. But that actually I think is a very, I won't say wrong, but it's a very difficult mindset to have, because I'm a firm believer that at the end of the day we are, we can only look at ourselves to
Yes,
change our own life, to write our own story. We cannot be dependent on anyone else. And you know, because when you rely on others, when you depend on others, there's always heartache, even
yes,
if it's your children.
yes, absolutely. You correctly said it is a mindset. And I think from many cultures, like be it Afghan culture or, you know, be it Pakistan or India, you know, the patriarchal mindset is very much in practice even today, right? And so, how can we change that? And that's why I think education, learning about pluralism, and that's not taught, right? How to be kind is not taught. The fact that we are all different, but we are all from the same soul, all those things are not taught to us, right? And so the best way to change this mindset, and now it will take generations, right? Because whatever we start today, that is the current generation. But still, within this generation, these ideas may not fully be integrated, right?
So
So I
Yasmin,
think,
I apologize. I'm going to pause you for a real quick second. It seems like Dilshad is struggling with something. Dilshad, you are on mute. So unmute. Okay. Can
Okay.
you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So can you? We can see you. Can you see us?
Yes.
Okay. So because you, it looked like you were struggling with something, but you're fine.
I
I,
can hear Dilshad. I can hear you.
Okay, Shama, we can't see you anymore. So just come back on the screen because there's that black
Okay, it's
dot.
okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Bibi is ready after Dilshad. Okay.
No, but BB can still enter.
Okay. Yeah, I taught her just now, so she will try. Okay.
Okay. So just to resume. Um, so sorry, Yasmin. Please do continue.
so I think I would like to cite the words of His Highness the Aga Khan Sir Sultan Muhammad Shah, because it is his teachings that have actually brought women universally, and specifically Smiley women, on a plateau which is far advanced. You know, from 1500s, women were already in the forefront. But if you look at our traditions, even way back in the 7th century, women were not just courageous, but there was a balance between the physical and spiritual, right? So, to answer how we can change the mindset, right, it's the acceptance that women are equal partners. How can we have progress when this circle, if you will, or completion of the two forces, or negative positive, like, I mean, we imagine electricity only exists because we have the negative and positive come together. Yeah. So if we don't have the balance of women and men in a given society, there will be no progress. And to change that mindset, His Highness says that we should be encouraging evolution and freedom and equality between men and women. I mean, those are big words. How can we encourage freedom, right? How can we encourage equality? So I
So,
think what you guys are doing.
so I so sorry to interrupt you, but so much of this I think is coming from, I think, from the culture, uh,
Yes, right.
because even as even from an Islamic perspective gives equal rights to men and women. You
Yes.
know, it's just that there are different roles that we play, right? And we are constructed differently. Our genetics are different, and we have different roles that we, as a woman, you have more feminine energy. You are a nurturer. You
Yes.
uh, bear a child or children, or your role is different, and for a man it's a different role. But otherwise there's equality, because like you said, it's negative and it's that's how we are. Without each other, we I mean, we complete each other, right? We
Absolutely. That's a beautiful word. We complete each other. But I think in societies like Pakistan, for example, or Afghanistan, because men suppress women, and it's abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, and therefore sometimes the freedom that women wish to practice may not be uh, possible within those given situations, because if the woman wants to fly, combating all the rigidity, they would be hit against. So then it becomes survival, right? And therefore then the whole family structure, if you will, suffers because there is just stagnation, right? The fluidity is not allowed, and so then things become stale, and the vicious cycle continues, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think on that note, welcome Dilshad. You are on mute, and if you can unmute and join us,
Hi.
Dilshad, you are part of the hosting team for, I guess, for CCW, and you're very much into women empowerment and helping women with their wellness. And Shama told us that you travel around the world and are very difficult to get a hold of. So how are you?
It's
And
not
we're
that
honored to have you here.
difficult. Yeah, yeah. Nice to meet all of you ladies.
Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you
yes, yes,
for joining, Dilshad.
So,
yes.
welcome and thank you for being here. Just to let you know, we are live streaming, and we are live streaming on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn. So this is a live stream. So it's a little bit different than Zoom, because people are watching us live.
Oh,
So
okay. I didn't
uh,
realize that.
So Dilshad, can you please share with us how you are empowering everyone, and you have empowered me with my pain? How to take care of the pain in my body, about the buying shoes and going for a walk, and can you please share with us?
Well, I'm really into exercise and health conscious. Um, and whenever I have some knowledge, I like to share the knowledge with my friends and family. So basically, that's how Shamim is what she's referring to. And yeah, I think it's very important, right, to share knowledge. And
absolutely.
yes, yes, if you have something that
Yeah.
you
She
know.
believes in organic food, and in our group, she always, everyone knows that she is an organic lady. We call her Dilshad Organic Lady.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
that's wonderful. You're spreading your own niche, your own wisdom. We are all different women. There are different things which give us an high. For me, my podcast, I started doing this in 2020 in April when we were quarantined and we were in the house. And, and for me, my podcast, I always tell people that it was life changing. It started changing my life because I don't think anyone is more fortunate than me. Every week I had a podcast, and I had amazing women like yourself and men who would come on my show. And just Dilshad, like you just said, knowledge, sharing their knowledge, spreading wisdom, and having discussions, being open-minded. And I think the most important thing that I did was I was ready and willing to learn from these different people,
Mm.
which
Definitely.
means that I, as an individual, felt that there was so much that was missing in my life, that I was receptive to change. I was receptive to learning from other people who came on. And it's just turned into such a such an amazing space where the more you learn, the more you look at yourself, the more you realize that how little you know.
Yes, exactly right. Yes. There's always something to learn, right? Every day we're learning
Oh,
something new, right? Yes.
every
Saima,
person you
Sai-
meet leaves you enriched. Shama, go ahead.
yeah, sorry to disturb you. I'm getting messages from Suraya, Bibi, and Mohammad from Afghanistan. So can you mute me and I can guide them again? The link you have sent it to me.
So just mute yourself.
Okay.
All they have to do is click on the link, and when they click on the link, they have to enter the studio. So you can leave and come back like you have done a few times. You can leave the studio, help them, and you can re-enter. And we will continue our discussion with Dilshad and with Yasmin. So Yasmin and Dilshad, do you guys know each other?
We don't.
No, we don't know
Okay.
each other.
Virtually, hi.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Yasmin.
Same here, Darshan.
So I've heard, I've heard amazing things about you women. Shama is always, Shama is always talking about, all you women and how empowering you women are, and how you're out there in your part of the world, making changes, empowering people. So what do you feel in your life has been a turning point for you, Yasmin?
When my mom passed, I have been creative since I was very little. But when my mom passed, before she passed, she encouraged me to write, and she told me it was better to do some intellectual work than be emotionally um, drained. And so that was her encouragement. And yeah, she encouraged me when she was diagnosed with cancer. I was there, and I was like, it was like, oh no, it was the end of the world for me. But my mom said, it's okay. It's just life. You continue on. And so that was very encouraging, because then she gave me a specific subject to write on. And she could have said anything, but then she chose, like she told me to write about Imamati institutions like the AKDN and AKTC, AKM. So it was a whole new portal for me, it was a whole new world. That was a turning point for me, because she showed me three things. One, she showed me how, in the face of hardship, courageous, fighting, like microscopically, her body was fighting, the cancer and all that, but she stood firm. She was very courageous. So she showed me that any hardship that comes, is not as hard if we try and balance it. And how can you balance that kind of hardship, right?
How
So
do
I
you
think,
balance that hardship?
yeah, it's like, wow, it's not possible, but yet it's possible.
I
So
think you
when,
just said something really brilliant, and you just said that your mom taught you to start writing, and she pushed you to
yes,
write because that's what it is. It's a brain dump, right? When you
yes,
transfer your thoughts and your feelings and everything
yes,
from your head onto that piece of paper,
yes,
you have transferred that. It's like shifting, right? Picking it
yes,
up from that space within you and shifting it on and putting it in that on that paper, and it relieves you. It's very difficult. I've been trying to write to do that, but so far I haven't started. But it is something that my mentor has been doing, and he's been encouraging me to do, and that is something your mother taught you to do, and it helped you balance yourself.
absolutely. It helped me because it also frees me. It frees us up, right, when we are writing, and all of a sudden, the new possibilities. We are able to see options, and I think that was the greatest gift my mom gave me. Yeah. So,
Absolutely. And she helped you
yeah.
probably heal uh,
Yes.
after the journey was over. I
Yes.
mean, once she was not, the hardship,
Basically.
that you went through with her, it probably helped you heal.
Absolutely, it did. It did. And even today, I reflect upon it and I think about it. And she could have said anything, go do your creative work. I mean, like visually or use your hands to do sculptures. And she goes, go write, go do some writing. And it's very, very encouraging because it opens so many other doors too, right? I mean, it could be poetry, it could be stories, it could be little articles. Um, so research continues as we were just sharing with each other. And you mentioned, right, that the more we learn, the more we can learn.
Yeah.
So that joy of ever expanding just is wonderful.
Once you become a student, I consider myself to be a student for life,
Yeah.
ever learning, ever evolving. And like I said earlier, the more I don't focus on other people. I just focus on myself.
Yeah.
And when you have teenagers in the house, they point out so many of your mistakes to you that you're constantly in that in that phase of self growth, and the
Yeah.
more you do it, the more you're like, oh man, I just
Uh-huh.
tried so hard to change myself, yet it's like there's so much more to change. Dilshad, what about you?
It doesn't end at teenage. I have two grown boys that are married, and it hasn't changed yet. So
So I think you're telling us that basically there's no hope, that this is going to be a lifetime. As long as you're
that's
alive, you're going to be fixing
yeah, you're
yourself.
going to be learning for sure, right? Yes, and we have two grandchildren too now, so you learn from them too quite a bit, right? So
Absolutely. I think your children come into your life to basically as your mirrors. People don't realize that children don't come into our life so they can fulfill our unfulfilled dreams, but they are actually sent into this world so that as our mirrors, and we see our reflection in them, and we are supposed to change when we look at them. And it's not the other way around, where we keep telling the children that do this or do that or become this or become that. They
yeah,
are supposed to be their own individual being.
yes, exactly right. They are for sure, for sure.
So,
Yeah,
Shama, I guess we are still having problems. We don't know how to bring the other three people on, and I'm not sure of what is missing, why they are not able to come on in. But Shama, um, what has been life changing for you in your journey?
Okay, that I think we already discussed just now. Life changing. I can talk about my next project we have.
Tell us.
From 22 to 23, from this August till next year. But actually, we have already started. And I'm very excited, very excited. Dilshad has attended that our grand opening event where we mention about blind people treatment. And now I am so proud and so happy that now we are strong with IOC. Bibi Foundation is mini and we are learning. And now we are partner with IOC, International Orphanage Care. Now, International Orphanage Care, they had been taking care of blind people and orphans. And now, what we, CCW, we are in a process with the help and support of IOC, as we are partner with them. We are opening very soon blind center. Now, in blind center, we are enrolling. We have already enrolled. Actually, total we have more than 18. Some disabled and some blind women, children, and what we will be doing, we will train them with the devices. IOC has willing to support us with learning devices for the blind people and some paper material. So they learn with the touch of sensation and by hearing skills they have. Because by treating their eyesight, their visions, couple of patients were taken for their treatment, but they still they are their eyesights are not working. So uh, management of IOC and BBW Foundation has decided to open uh, a wellness center of blind center that will be in Takar. We have already hired a doctor and a teacher, and they will take care of these blind people. So I'm very excited about my next journey with blind people, and inshallah, we have actually seen the videos from IOC with their learning skills. They are capable of going back to take care of their emotional health, their mental health, and social health. Because by learning those skills with those devices, they don't feel that they are alone and they are not miserable anymore, and they also have right to live. So I am very excited about this my project.
So, if people are watching and there is someone who needs to reach out to you, Shama, where can people find you?
Okay, they can connect to me on my website, which is www courageous cosmic women. Immediately there is a form. There's
CCW,
a,
or the whole thing spelled out?
yeah, you want me to spell it out?
No, I'm asking you, is it just ccw.com, or is it Courageous Cosmic Women, the whole
It,
thing?
it is whole thing, courageouscosmicwomen.com. And on first page there is a form. It's a very small 3-line form. If they want to involve and ask any question, and I reply in 1 to 2 business days. And that way we get their email connection, and I can inform them, because we can help them in Afghanistan, whatever way they want to involve.
So, is this specifically for people in Afghanistan?
It is actually right now we have these blind people in Takhar, Afghanistan. So we have an office as it is running by one of our director, Mohammad, in Kabul. He works for IOC and he will be managing, and doctor and teacher will be teaching in Takhar. So all the setup is in Kabul. The head office is in Kabul, and the center. By the way, Bibi has already donated a huge building for the blind center, and that's what I really want her to come. I told Bibi just now, even we can't see her, if she can hear us. That's what she said. She
No,
was
but she's
listening.
getting us on Facebook. She's messaging on Facebook. I don't, she hasn't entered the studio.
Okay.
If she
Okay.
would enter the studio, I would bring her on. But
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Unfortunately, yeah, she can't. So that's fine. Yeah. So she's playing a very good role. She has a very good support from her family, and we are so blessed that we have an extremely, very good support from IOC and from her family and public.
so this is something amazing that you guys are doing for the blind people. Um, but, but you guys have recently been approached and given a grant by UNICEF as well for a project, right?
Yes.
Would you like to
Excellent.
share something
Very
about
good question. Yeah, very good question, Saima. Uh, UNICEF has approved a great, huge amount of donation. I heard, I've not seen, but I heard it is true. That I heard from one of my director, 10 million US dollars. And we are now very excited to take care of all our project. Not only that, we also have a women's school in Takar, and I would not say due to Taliban, but due to some changes, the school was temporary, it was stopped, and the women who were suffering, they were actually out from the school, because now when, according to their policy and regulation, when the women or the girl is 12 years old, they have to leave the school. So that's why we open a center. So in center, the women can approach us and we can guide them. At least we can take care of their family, and they will learn a lot. How disabled and blind people, at least they will have a normal life.
I
So
mean, us women living in the United States, living empowering lives out there, doing things that we want to do, the ability to go out and meet friends or have dinner or go out, dress the way we want, do the things that we choose to do, this freedom. I mean, i- in this day and age, it is so heartbreaking to
yeah,
actually see the suffering of women in Afghanistan. You
yeah,
know, look at where the world is going. You know, it's gone. It's going to Mars. It's doing
yeah,
amazing things. Look at us on social media right now. We are streaming live and we are talking, connected from Vancouver and from different parts of the US, and we
yeah,
are here, we are interacting, and we are working on changing lives. We are so fortunate. But
yes.
when you look at Afghanistan and you look at the suffering of these women, the lack of opportunities, what can people who are listening, what can they contribute? How can they help to touch lives and be a part of what you're doing?
Okay. I would like to share with you at this point. We have very educated women in Afghanistan. They really want to come out from their shell, and they really want to support us. They are supporting us, but they don't have any resources available. And their hands are tied. They need support from USA. They need support from us courageous women who can actually give them some new area where they can come and speak. They can come and speak for themselves. They can really, they have right to live. They are suffering, they have a miserable life due to natural disaster, uh, due to flood. And they live in a camp as a refugee outside Afghanistan at Jalalabad. We also have a very good connection in Jalalabad and in northern Pakistan, where they are having a miserable life. And they are many women. They are educated. They speak English, but they don't have any resources. So my message to the whole world, and plus to women in United States, please come forward and let's support all these women who seek the help.
So, as we approach the end of our show, first of all, I'm really sad that the other people were not able to join. Bibi just messaged. Bibi said Saima needs to add me, but Bibi, you have to click on that link. I do. You have to enter the studio, Bibi. So it says where you are right now. You have to say that enter the studio, because on my screen right now, the studio, I have Yasmin, Dilshad, and Shama. You're not in the studio, you're outside, and you need to click that button where it says enter the studio. Write your name and enter the studio. So we still have time. You can, if you click that and you try to come on in. But otherwise, you know, what message would you like to leave Yasmin?
Dare to be yourself, uh, with free spirit, intentional inspiration. And I think what Shama just was saying, I think to bounce off civil society, everything that you're doing, I think should partner with world leaders. And I think world leaders should listen to our voices, and they should really create a program where they need to be accountable. They have to stop playing politics or power games and really hold leaders, patriarchal societies, all the norms that still exist in the 21st century. Those have to stop. And I think what you and so many other NGOs are doing, it's wonderful. But I think somehow we have to voice ourselves to get government leaders responsible. But so yeah, be courageous and let's fly off the challenges and all the blocks we hit. Those may be blocks, but they're never as humongous as they appear to us. I think if we make an intention, we can soar rather than fall. It's
But
just the story of the bird being pushed off the tree, right? It either flies or it kind of.
Dilshad, what message would you like to leave the?
Yeah, I totally second Yasmin. I think she covered it very nicely, that we all need to, be able to speak our voices and, be independent women, uh, and, educate our children, educate everybody that we come across, right? And yeah, be courageous and be powerful. Speak yourselves up, and help as much as you can, but you can't do it alone. It has to be numbers, basically, right?
But
Yeah.
how do you do that, Dilshad, when the society does not want you to be authentic? The society is not willing to accept you. They ostracize you when you are authentic, when you embrace your individual identity, when you embrace yourself and you're out there and you're vocal. How do you break out of that pattern?
Yeah, it's very difficult, definitely, especially in places like Afghanistan. Yes, because women are not able to speak for themselves, right? They are
I see
educated,
that
but
here too. I mean, we live in the most developed country in the world, and I see it's rampant over here. It's you see women, you see educated women who are in abusive relationships. They are not just physical abuse, verbal abuse, and they're educated. They don't speak. They just suffer. They how Where should that courage come from, where they're able to say that I matter and
yes,
I'm going to take care of me, right?
yeah,
It needs to
yes,
be a society, a thing where you spread that what, it begins with you.
yes, and it's again, they are educated, but maybe they, they are they're in the culture also. Where in the culture, maybe the family, the husband or the son, it could be anybody, right? It could be, that they are not being able to, express themselves, or, being dominated by someone. And it's a very difficult situation.
It
It
is
can be.
supposed to be an equality, but
Yes,
somewhere that that we need to make sure that we are teaching our daughters, we are teaching our friends, and it begins with us, right?
yes,
In order for our daughters to learn, for our friends to learn, we have to take that courageous first step where we
yes,
step up and we
yes,
say, hey, you know what, this is who I am,
yes,
I'm going to take care of me. Because
yeah,
when you take care of you, that's when you teach your kids that it's okay for them to do the same thing, because kids are sponges and they learn and they feed off what they see in their surrounding. And so it begins with us. And Shama, last few minutes, what parting words would you like to leave the audience with?
Yes, yes, I would like to conclude with this, like, live your life. Live your life. And to live your life, I use a very powerful tool called self love. Self love is a very, very powerful tool. So you do not forget to love yourself and motivate yourself, and you will see the miracle in your life. And that's where, you will be a courageous. And once you become a courageous woman, and then you can face anything, whatever comes in your life. And that is my message to the whole world, the women of whole world.
So I think as a last thing, Bibi, if you're on an iPhone, Safari is not compatible with with your phone. So that could be the problem that you're having. You do need to be on Google Chrome, even if you're coming off on your phone. So so Bibi says best important. Thing in Afghanistan, women don't have any financial support from anywhere. So best thing for them is to stop having kids. I think that's what Bibi means.
Very good. Very good point. I agree with
Because well, that is the not
you.
so.
You can hear me. Yes, excellent. They have to stop producing babies, but that again, it's a man's world. And Saima will not like it if I say that.
No, you can say whatever you want. It's you're entitled to your opinion, and I'm not going to say anything here. But we have reached the end of our show, and Yasmin, Dilshad, Shama, it's an honor and a privilege to have you ladies here and to get to know you. And I wish you all the very best. And you women are amazing, and making shifting, bringing a shift in the world and doing things out there. So more power to you. Thank you all for being
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you for hosting the show, Saima. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And
Thank you.
thank you for joining.
So,
Thanks.
Thank you.
so we are going to go ahead and we are going to end the show. And so, give me just a few.